Why is this vote important today, and how did it come about?
Well, this vote is really important today because it's going to essentially put pressure on our senior leadership as well as just the city as a whole, as the whole city, showing that students are really rallying together and that we want the flag taken down and that we want to institutionalize inclusion here at the university.
Coon, you introduced this bill. It's going to be voted on not by the whole student body, right, but by the student government. Explain exactly how you introduced this.
Well, after the tragic events in Charleston, there's been this national movement to address Confederate iconography. Our campus is steeped in symbols of the Confederacy and symbols of white supremacy, and I felt we ought to utilize this momentum to address these symbols. So in late September, I contacted my allies in the NAACP on campus, and we decided to form a coalition and challenge ASB to take a stand. So many universities across the state had released statements. The student body at the Mississippi State University actually released a statement challenging the state flag, and yet our student government had done nothing up until that point. So we wanted to show the world that we are prepared to take steps forward and create a positive, progressive change on our campus.
Mm-hmm. And what's your assessment? Do you have the votes?
We feel very confident that this resolution will pass tonight.
Dominique Scott, a lot of people refer to the University of Mississippi as Ole Miss. You don't. Why?
I avoid using the term Ole Miss at all times, my friends and I. The term Ole Miss is definitely steeped in a history of racial oppression. Historically, the term Ole Miss is a term that slaves used to refer to the mistresses and or matriarchs of their plantations. And so when the school was deciding on what they would nickname the school, one woman was quoted saying that Ole Miss was what old darkies used to refer to the mistress of their plantations as. And when the vote was passed to use the term Ole Miss, the runner-up was Ole Massa. And so definitely the term is steeped within a history of white supremacy and racial oppression. So I refuse to refer to the institution of my institution of learning as what my ancestors used to refer to their oppressors as.
Dominique, can you talk about what happened around the statue of James Meredith that is on campus, the first African-American to integrate University of Mississippi? What happened last year?
Yes, ma'am. In 2013, 3 individuals placed a noose around the neck of the James Meredith statue with the old Georgia state flag, and they shouted racial slurs and white power in a way to intimidate Black students on campus and once again perpetuate that culture of white supremacy and racial oppression.
So, Alan Coon, what do you say to those who talk about the flag representing heritage on campus?
I agree. It does represent a heritage. It represents a heritage of hate. It represents a heritage of white supremacy. It represents a heritage that this university has, in which this university actively oppressed people of color attempting to receive an education, they're attempting to acquire personal growth at this university, and it continues today. So we're attempting to create a more inclusive environment. We're trying to create a safe, tolerant academic space for all students.
Mm-hmm. And so what exactly happens today? What will take place, and what does the vote mean?
So tonight we have a Senate meeting at 7 p.m. We will be discussing, debating this resolution. Hopefully it will be voted upon. There's 49 senators. We need a simple majority of 25 to pass this resolution, and it's a non-binding resolution. So when it passes, the senior leadership of the university has the opportunity to listen to our voices, but we've been receiving indications that they may not necessarily take the flag down when we pass this resolution. We may have to do more. And it's disappointing to know that our voices aren't enough, that our actions aren't enough to bring down the symbol of oppression on our campus.